in healthcare delivery in Nigeria, one with community impact. A proud alumnus of the University of Ibadan, Pharmacist Odupe is not just a pharmacist, but a visionary who combines clinical expertise with business acumen. He is a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants and holds several certifications in leadership, entrepreneurship, and supply chain management, both locally and internationally. He is a non-innovator that have innovative approach to pharmacy practice, deep involvement in mentoring young professionals, and that is why he is here. And his commitment and passion for improving access to quality medicines across Nigeria. Pharmacist Topik is a respected speaker, a panelist at national conferences, and a lifelong learner who constantly advocates for excellence, accountability, and ethical standards in pharmacy business. Ladies and gentlemen, today, he leads this business roundtable not just with experience, but a wealth of wisdom, bold ideas, and practice. With a clap innovation, with a standing ovation, let's give him this stage. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Pharmacist Aminu. That was actually a great one. I think it's still a few minutes to noon, so I can still conveniently say good morning. Good morning, pharmacists. Good morning, professional colleagues. I'm not sure we have any fellow in the house. I think in case we have, good morning fellows of the society. Well, for me, it is homecoming, and people don't understand that about 31 years ago, I lived in Kano for almost 9 months plus. That was exactly after I finished writing my JAMB exams. My brother used to be one of the branch leaders of the then Defcon Merchant Bank. So after finishing my JAMB, I traveled all the way from Ijebu to stay with him in Kano. And I think I was in Kano for more than 9 months before finally going back to Ibadan to resume in the University of Ibadan in 1995, October. And so for me, Kano is homecoming. When the call came, I couldn't reject because of the connection. I always have the YPGs, and obviously it's Kano as a state. So sad. I think I came back to Kano when we visited the office 3 weeks ago, and I'm back again in Kano. And because I'm also part of the PSN National Conference Planning Committee, my visit to Kano is going to be frequent up until the end of the conference in November. So if you are in Kano and you'd like to book a session with me, I'm sure we can work together. Definitely. So let's go into the business of the day. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to take you through a bit of some theoretical frameworks. I hope we can have a bit of a silence, please, for those at the back. If the organizers can bring the noise level down, I will appreciate that. Organizers, please.
Please, can we have one house, please?
Yes,
let's settle down, please.
Those at the back. You can conduct your business without making noise, please. I traveled all the way. I landed in Kano late yesterday night. My flight was delayed in Lagos for 2 hours. I eventually landed in Kano around 9:30 p.m. yesterday. So if I've traveled that far, I think it will be worth the while that we all make the best of this moment. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to be working with, I think I can take this away. Sorry, can we take this away so that there will be easy access for the screen by all of us? Let me stay by the side here. So just help me and work with me as much as possible. Today, I'm going to be taking on a very, very sensitive discussion: branding, networking, and the power of consistency in building sustainable businesses. And I think that we are discussing this at the level of YPG makes sense for me. And the reason is because you will hear it when I begin to tell you about the Vanguard Pharmacy story towards the middle of my slides. That what I do today and what has taken me this far is actually something that was started about 19 years ago. And so if 19 years into running Vanguard Pharmacy, I have traveled practically all across this country to deliver lectures, keynotes, and even outside of Nigeria. Just last weekend, I was still far away in Zambia, still on the foundation of the work we have been doing in Vanguard Pharmacy. So, and this for me is important. So what are we going to be looking at? We will look at the concept of branding. Like I say, we all as professional pharmacists must understand some of these elements because they are the things that can truly differentiate us. The lady that spoke earlier spoke about supply chain. And so you will realize that if you are not building a lot of all of these things together, you might eventually still struggle in your career. Networking. We will look at that too. And the power of consistency is going to be very, very key. So one thing I'm going to ensure we also do is to now look at the synergy between branding, networking, and consistency. Now, I will take you into the lessons I learned in the last 18 years building and running Vanguard Pharmacy. And for any of you that is interested in the world of entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship, please, we should emphasize those two. You can be an entrepreneur, you can also be an intrapreneur. And there is no one that is superior to the other, I tell you. The most important thing is that as long as you are consistent, you will eventually realize that you can get to the top in any one you have chosen. So we're going to talk about how should you apply that into your business or into your career path. Maybe by the time I get to that level, some of you will realize that if they're going to sign up into supply chain today, then you have to key into it as early as possible. And so when they are looking at the next 10 years, you guys will not be the new levels of leaders that are going to be going around the country, canvassing to the younger generations of why they should get to that space. But it's going to be important. And if I can do all of that, I will ensure I conclude. Sorry, I don't have any time frame. I will appreciate if you can give me time frame. I'm just working with my slides as I speak. Now, look at this. This is from Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. I love this a lot. He said, your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. I don't know if you guys get that. Your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. Because when you are there, people might not be able to tell you the realities. But the moment you are not in the room, what will people say about you? And that's exactly what your brand is. So if you want to understand, you want to build a brand, you have to be conscious and deliberate all the way. Understanding that it is not what people say in your presence, but what people say when you are not there. And that means that you truly have to ensure that across all the touch points, you are on top of the game. And it's important. Now look at this again. This is the co-founder of Intuit. He says, a brand is no longer what we tell the customer it is. It is what customer tells each other it is. And for us in Vanguard Pharmacy, we are always doing that check. What are our customers saying about us? You know, it is very easy to say this is who we are, who we want to be. All of those ones we categorize as marketing. But when people say something about you, then you can begin to know that at that level you are gradually creating a brand. Amongst the YPG, young graduating students, university students studying pharmacy or indeed any course across the country, what do they say about us? They are always interested. And that's one major reason why I wouldn't even have rejected an opportunity to come and speak in an environment like this. Because I know that the impression I will leave behind is going to go a long way in the way people will perceive my personal brand, Taofik Odukoya, and also the brand, the Vanguard Pharmacy brand that we have been building for more than 19 years. And I hope you guys are connected. Because we are not supposed to cram anything here. I should be able to drive it home. That when you eventually can apply all of these things, not just into your private life, but into whatever brand you also decide to actually build in the future. So let's go into the bit of introduction. In today's competitive and fast-changing business landscape, the businesses that survive and thrive long-term are those that are not only profitable businesses, but are sustainable. We are old enough to have seen a lot of good businesses that were profitable in Nigeria, but they didn't stand the test of time. And there are quite a lot I can remember off my hand as I'm standing there. So the question for you when you are building anything is not just profitability, but what? Sustainability. How can you build sustainability in that thing that you are doing? I remember in some of our strategy sessions in Vanguard Pharmacy sometime in 2010, we used to discuss this a lot. At those periods, I used to be the only pharmacist working in that business. And I used to work 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Mondays to Sundays. I never had any off day. But you know, the question that kept coming at those periods is that even sustainable for me as a person? Number one. Number two, if I could do that because I was a founder, would any other person want to do that? The answer is obviously no. So how do we build sustainability into that space that we're operating? And today, it's a different ballgame. We have a lot of pharmacists in the system. We are one of the highest employers of pharmacists in the southwest of Nigeria. And all of us can go not just on annual leave, maternity leave, paternity leave. All of those things are inherent in the business. So I'm saying that whatever you are building, don't take profitability alone. Profitability can be short term, but when you take sustainability, you are taking long term. Now, building a sustainable business means creating a system that continues to deliver value to customers. You can see, not just to the customers, but to the employees, to your partners, and the society at large. And when you truly sit down and analyze all these stakeholders, you'll be amazed that they are numerous. So, if you are thinking profitability alone, that means you are just willing to satisfy a particular segment of your stakeholder. That means the shareholders of the business. But when you think sustainability, you have to think holistically and ensure that everybody is taken into the fold as much as possible. And remember, like I said, it is companies that think sustainability that stays in the game for the long term. Now, 3 criteria often underestimated pillars in achieving this are what? For me, number 1, branding. Like I said earlier, branding is the perception people have about your business. It includes everything from your logo and your colors to your tone of voice, values, customer experience, and how to make your people feel. If I step into any environment, for example, immediately I step into this event, I could tell the branding and the leadership of the YPG is actually creating. Because I saw a lot of happy and excited young people in the room. And that tells me that the leadership is doing something that is meaningful. Again, how? I heard people travel all the way from Lagos. Is it cheap to travel? Whether you are coming by local categories, whether you are flying by air categories at the cost. So it's not cheap. So for people to have traveled from far and near across the country to attend this national conference, it tells me that someone somewhere is actually bringing something to the table. And that for me is the motivating factor where people will have to travel that far. So now, what is the role of branding in sustainability? I think that would be a fair question. And I'm saying that number one, branding helps you to differentiate yourself. The first thing we learned in branding school, in the business school, is that it is either you differentiate yourself or you die. Because the space out there is truly crowded. So, you are going out for an occasion, you don't have to dress the way everybody is dressing. Be unique, differentiate yourself. You are creating a business, that business has to be different. I remember when we came into the community pharmacy space, we are used to seeing community pharmacies in small 30 square meter spaces. Yes, we started from there, but we knew that we were going to change the game. And we indeed ended up raising the bar and changing the game. So that is what branding will help you to do on your path to creating a sustainable thing. Now, your brand will also help you build what? Trust and loyalty. Remember, a strong brand earns repeat customers, and your employees will not just stay, but they will be committed and they will also be loyal. And when I tell people that in Vega Pharmacy, we have people that have worked with us for almost 19 years of existence of our business. We have pharmacists that have worked with us for more than a decade. And people keep asking me, why are they not leaving? I'm telling you it's because they know that when you're in this space, it is not just the owners or the founder that thrives, and all of us thrives in the system. And you know, there are things that are created intentionally to ensure that everybody thrives. Of course, it doesn't mean all of us don't bring our own fair share to the table. You bring in your hard work, and in return, you are guaranteed that you are going to thrive. And I think that is important. Now, your brand also helps you build your emotional connection. Brands that connect emotionally will obviously win long time. And you know, in customer experience, a lot of crazy things that people will not expect you to do what you have to do. Going far and beyond to ensure that you can satisfy everybody. Remember, we are not just talking, when we talk about customers, we are not just fighting your paying customers. Your internal customers are your people, and they are important as part of the value chain. Your suppliers are part of the people, the manufacturers, everybody in the entire value chain are part of the people that you have to ensure that you create a win-win situation for. Now, value perception, strong brands command higher pricing and loyalty. And I know in the community pharmacy space, one of the things I hear a lot from the younger generations is that, the margin is poor. And I tell people the margin is not poor. But you must understand the game for you to understand that the margin cannot be poor. And you know, there are learnings, there are things we all have to learn to get to this level. And for me, number one is like ensuring you create a very, very strong brand out there. Once you create that brand, it builds trust, and people want to believe you and they want to stay with you because they've been getting value for their money over and over and over again. I think we can move to the next one. Let's see the next one. So now, I love this African proverb, and it says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you do what? You go together. And I know I'm leaving branding to go into what? Networking. Next one. Networking is not just about connecting people. That's the mistake a lot of us make. It's about connecting people with people. It's about connecting people with ideas, and it's about connecting people with what? Opportunities. And let me expatiate this a little for you. When you say you connect people with people, all of us are used to that. At least in this room, maybe before I leave Kano today, I must at least, as a matter of principle for myself, have 5 new people on my network. That's apart from the president, the judge, and my friend from Ibadan, the YPG person. And so what I do intentionally when I go out for conferences, for events, is intentionally I tell myself, on this trip, I must have a minimum of 5 new people that I'm going to understand and get close to, and ensure that we exchange contact, so that when we meet ourselves anywhere in future, we will easily connect. And if that person sees for me any form of opportunity based on what I do and have developed capabilities for, you'll be able to actually remember me. And that's important. I'm challenging you all. You have traveled down here for the national conference. Please, before you leave Kano, ensure you network with at least 5 people. Please, it's not just network on the surface. I'm saying getting to know people, what they do, what are their capabilities, what are their strengths, and all of that. So, if you are far away and you see any opportunities, you can always remember that this person I met can actually key to these opportunities and can make up with them. Is that it? Is that a promise? Thank you. Sorry, where are you? Okay, sorry, yeah. So go back there. I think I need to finish this. Go back, no, yes. Stay here. Then, it is only when you know people that can connect people with opportunities. Do you know that? And that's why it's important that you have to build network intentionally, knowing that you are not just building network because you want to accept people's number, but because the end game is to be able to connect people with what opportunities. Let's go. So, networking refers to strategically building relationships with people and institutions that can help your business grow. Please note that with people and also what? Institutions. So you are not just building network with human beings. But remember, there are no institutions without people. Do you agree? And that's why you must start with people before you can build relationships with institutions. And in the area of sustainability, networking opportunities actually helps with partnerships, collaborations, and contracts often stem from what? From networks. And I remember like my principal in secondary school would say, he's late now, he would tell us that corruption can be eliminated from the world, but you cannot stamp out connection. And connection is legal, corruption is illegal. Do you agree? And it's important that you should ensure you intentionally build networking. Intentionally. Support systems. When you have a good network, they can help you. They can be a very strong support base for you. I'm sure you know anybody can run into crisis at any point in time. Do you agree? And so it's the level of the support system that you have built that will actually help you. In tough times, they will be able to offer advice, they will be able to offer resources, and they can even offer you encouragement. And it's important. Visibility. The more people you know, the more trust and business the products attract. Do we agree? And credibility, being connected to reputable individuals or organizations can boost your standing. There are some deals we've been able to close with some financial institutions. Why? Because we have the right connection of people, and we have also been able to build trust and networks over the years. And so when they see your document, you just realize that your integrity is actually gets to the room way ahead of you. And people are saying, no, they've done business with this company before. They have this highest level of integrity, and they shouldn't have any big deal passing whatever document they are seeing. And so it's important that you have to link all of this together. Is that taken? Now, peer networking is also important. You have to network amongst your peers. For me, I don't really see myself as a pharmacist again. I see myself more like an entrepreneur. So wherever I go, I want to connect with any like-thinking minds. Whether they are pharmacists, they are medical doctors, they are chartered accountant, any walks of life intentionally. The supply chain lady, I'm going to be connected with that today, that's a guarantee. I have my certification in supply chain management way back in 2016. And you know, it's one thing that I've noticed that pharmacists run away from. And it's also one major problem why pharmacists struggle in community pharmacy. Because the whole idea of running a well-performing community pharmacy practice is when you understand the supply chain very, very well. And it's important. So professional bodies, this is YPG event, and I expect that will be more than this. The question is why. So people might complain, the transportation cost is expensive. This is, they can't travel to Kano. But the question is, you won't know what you are missing when you are not here. And the next network that you need that can help you solve the bigger challenge you have might just be seated next to you. And so it's important that you go for this kind of event. Suppliers and customer relationships, for me, those are one of the biggest areas. When I say suppliers, customer relationships, your bankers, there is nothing that you cannot get from those lines of relationships. And please, when you are building relationship with your supplier, don't think it is just from what you buy or they buy from you. If you are building relationship from your customers, don't think it is ending with that transaction that you guys are doing. And I remember a long time ago, around 2009, I had this staff that passed its exam very, very well, but for different reasons, they were not going to shortlist him for the admission then in one of the polytechnics in Nigeria. And you know, right there and then I just told the guy, I said, do you know that the current leader in that institution, one of the leaders in that institution is actually a very good clientele of us then. And so we picked the phone call, we submitted the documentation, and behold, we found out that the guy should have even been in on merit. And so we were able to solve that. So please think of all of this beyond the primary relationship that you have with them. You can use them for a lot of things. Their customers, their friends should also become your own part of your network. And that's why we always tell you that you are just maximum 5 people away from getting to your target. Because that person that you know knows someone that knows someone, and you can always get whatever you need if you work well. And I think for us in Ganga Finance, one thing we've done so well over the years is that we have worked closely with all our partners, from local hospitals to NGOs, health professionals. We go for event outreaches intentionally because we knew that we are trying to build a very, very strong brand into the future. Next. Now, why is consistency important? It was a question that I have answered amongst the YPG. I remember when they had their conference in Oyo State, I was there. And people would come and ask me, I tell them, consistency is too important in everything we do. Because without consistency, people won't take you serious. I hope we know. And so success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. And those are not my words. It comes from what? What you do consistently. And the question is, I have seen amongst non-pharmacists, we don't want to be consistent with our ideas. They want to work, do community for 1 year. It's too difficult. They go again to hospital. It's not well paying. It's data. Let me go and do data. By the time they get to data space, they realize that that one is also highly competitive. You know, and I tell you, please, the opportunities are too numerous. Pick one, face it, and be consistent. Before you know it, by the end of your 5 to 10 years, doing that thing consistently, you will realize that you have gotten to near peak. And people have begun to recognize you for that thing that you actually know how to do so well. And so for me, it's important, the power of consistency. Consistency is the practice of delivering the same value, quality, message, and experience over time. Why does it matter? When you build consistency into your life and your career, one thing people will know you for is it's easily help you build trust. People trust businesses that are predictable and are also what? Reliable. And you can change that businesses into personal brands. People will trust you because they know you. And so there are a lot of doors that has been opened for me when I wasn't even in the room. And why? How? I'm sure I'll get there. Consistency reinforces identity. A consistent brand reinforces what it stands for. And so, whatever you want to do, whatever it is, I don't care, ensure to build consistency around it. And consistency will increase your efficiency. Internal processes are streamlined when everybody knows the standards. For me, I've done retail pharmacy, community pharmacy for almost 2 decades. The more we stay in that game, the more we understand how to navigate any challenges that can come in that space. The more people trust us that even when they have any medications anywhere that's going to be scarce, that's going to be short-dated, that's going to be, they know they will come to us. Why? Because we build consistency over the long term. It improves customers' experience. No matter the location or platform, your customer expects to receive the same high quality service. And it doesn't matter. And that's what consistency builds. We have 13 locations scattered across the Southwest. And our customers will even be the ones to challenge the system and say, no, this is not Vanguard standard. If they say everything go wrong. The question is how, why? Because over the years, they've already known some things that are associated with the Vanguard pharmacy brand. So the customers will help us enforce those standards when we are not there. And that's what consistency brings to the table for you as much as possible. Next slide. Now, let's begin to go into a bit of some practical discussions. And I'm saying that, what are the practical elements of consistency? For me, one, your brand tone and visual identity is key. Wherever people see you, if they remove your name from your logo, will people still say this is you? If they cover your face and people hear your voice, will people say that is you? If you enter a room and you are backing the audience, will people be able to recognize you? That's what consistency brings. As common as spell, when people hear you walk past and people say, no, that should be that person's spell. Are you from you? And I tell you, yes, spell is part of brand. Just think of all your sense organs, and people should be able to feel, touch all your sense organs. And that's what should be applicable to your brand as much as possible. Your product service quality must be predictable. Your customer service experience has to be predictable. And internal operations, your SOPs, your training, your reporting, all of those things has to be built into what you do. And I say this without fear or favor. Vanguard Pharmacy delivers consistent service across multiple branches. Of course, for us to actualize that, we are huge on training and training around our standard operation, standard procedures, and unified messaging. Across all locations, what we communicate to our customers are consistent. Our buildings, even when we start to construct our locations, people will even tell you this is the Vanguard Pharmacy brand coming up. Because all of those things, we have built consistency around it over the years. And so it's important that if you desire to get to the very top, then you have to think consistency. So now let's see the synergy between branding, networking, and consistency. Branding attracts and communicates a promise. Do you agree? Networking helps you to expand your reach and support system. Consistency keeps customers coming back, and that helps you to strengthen your internal culture. When you combine all of these things, this element helps you build your what? Your reputation, your community, and your structure. And for me, I'm saying that that's the core of how to build a sustainable business. Okay, so they said I have 17 minutes more, and I'm just fascinated because I'm getting to the Vanguard Pharmacy story. And so please look at that image. That was where Vanguard Pharmacy started from. November 20th, 2006, 17A at the Great Shopping Complex in a 29.5 square meter, approximated to the minimum required by council 30 square meter space, exactly where we started from. So I tell the young ones today, it is not a big deal when we all start from the whole beginning. And indeed, a lot of beautiful things we all see today started from the very early beginning. I'm sure if you have gone to read the story of Apple, the story of Microsoft, and all of those big companies, you will have heard that those businesses started from someone's garage. The question is for us too, this was our very early beginning. And you know, we have preserved this image, despite the fact that during those eras, we don't have cameras that are not easily accessible. Unfortunately for me, someone took this picture that period to use for the documentation, and years after I had to beg him to release the picture for me. A very good friend of mine, he was even saying he was going to sell it, and I was saying any amount I'd be willing to buy it out. Unfortunately for me, he gave us for free. Vanguard Pharmacy Limited today is one of the largest and the fastest growing retail company within the southwest region of Nigeria. Of course, our headquarters remains in Monoton, Iwo Road, Ibadan, the largest city in West Africa. Like I mentioned earlier, we started in a 30 square meter space with 3 employees. With what? 3 employees. The beautiful thing today is that we operate in 3 states of the Federation, and we have, because I'm seeing, I can tell you, it's 13 branches. And as of today, we have crossed over 500 people in our employment. We are one of the largest employers of pharmacists and intern pharmacists across the southwest of the country. And we are not just in business. I can confidently say that we are not building a profitable company, but we are building a company that is truly sustainable. We have done some fantastic growth and performances in the last 19 years. And all of those things has been consistent outside of the founders. Of course, we are a pioneer of veterinary pharmacy. We pioneered that in 2011. Even when Pharmacy Council wasn't supporting the idea, Council came to support when we have actually started. And you know, like I picked from one of my great business mentors, the founder of GT Bank. He says, regulation will come to meet you. And so when we started veterinary pharmacy, there was no regulation. All we knew was that it is an area we should be playing in, and we started it in 2011. But today, we are actually one of the biggest veterinary players in the country. Of course, we are grounded and we have recorded successes almost instantaneously in every location we've opened our doors in the last 19 years. The most recent store that we opened about a year ago has also became an instant success. But for me, when I tell people about the Vanguard Pharmacy story, I don't even look at the physical structure. I'm more fascinated about the quality of the people that we have kept in that business over the years. And it is because we have been intentional all the way. Our mission is very clear to us, and we will continue to ensure that our people succeed and thrive as much as possible. Despite the Japa syndrome, our brand has been one of the least affected in the entire country. And so, I tell people, it is because there is a reason and there is something that we are doing behind the scenes to ensure that everybody in our business, from the security personnel to our cashiers and up to the top, are not just succeeding, but they can actually also thrive in this Nigerian space. Of course, today, those are the kind of buildings we have. Our branches typically sit at about 750 square meter spaces. You can see it's bigger than all the 30 square that council still requires as the minimum today in multiple floors. Our ambitious goal for the decade is to become a national and a West African retail brand by the end of this decade. We are also big, we are customer centric. Like I can tell you, we go all out to ensure that our customers are satisfied without bending the rules for them. And I say this again, way back in 2012, before the codeine ban in 2018, we started enforcing codeine and selling codeine of prescription in Vanguard Pharmacy way back in 2012. Because we will tell you that